I don't want people to find this channel, but that's not exactly right. To set the scene, I was hanging out with a good friend of mine a couple weeks ago. For the past year, we had usually met up about maybe once a week. But for the past month, we had both been really busy. So when I had hung out with him this time, we had a lot to catch up on. The first thing we talked about was what we did this summer. We talked about trips first, of course, but when it came to things that I actually did, I only really had one thing to talk about. So I was about to flex my 38 subscribers, but I thought about it for a second and realized the obvious follow-up, which would be, so what have you been doing on this channel? I was reluctant to share that, so I tried thinking of a way to dance around the question, or maybe make something up instead, of directly saying, I talk about my feelings. I wasn't able to come up with anything good, so I didn't tell him. Now he probably thinks I'm a bum who did nothing. Granted, I'm not sure if posting one video in a month is really that impressive either. Of course, I did want to tell him. Here was a prime opportunity, right? Here I was with the friend I'd literally been hanging out with for the whole of my senior year, and it was most difficult to tell him. It seemed a little odd to me at first. I should want to tell him, right? I mean, again, he's a close friend of mine, and I, believe it or not, am passionate about this channel. So why am I comfortable posting my thoughts on here, yet I can't tell a good friend about them? At first, I thought I didn't want anyone to find this channel. But then at that point, shouldn't I just make like a diary or something? Obviously, I did want people to find it. I was just afraid of certain people finding this channel who I wasn't ready to share with. Because here, I share my struggles and thoughts that normally would stay in my head. I don't even dislike, maybe even find it comforting if this was a small little channel with a nice small community, because then there's no shot that they would. It seems backwards, but I feel more comfortable sharing things and being vulnerable with strangers than I am with people that I know, especially those that I should be close with. I always thought that since you trust them the most, shouldn't you be able to share things and be vulnerable with them? I think that for the most part, that's just how it goes. Your family and friends are your places of safety and celebration, so why not go there? While writing out my thoughts, I started to wonder if I could even count this as being vulnerable. Sure, I'm sharing some personal thoughts on this channel, but it's not exactly the traditional sharing trauma or confessing secrets or even sharing bad things that I've done. I think I still would though, because being vulnerable has layers, and at its core, being vulnerable is sort of like, letting someone see the unfiltered you, sharing things about yourself, thoughts, cares, passions, etc., without changing anything and without being able to know or control how they react. Though, of course, that's just my opinion. I know it might seem a little funny using the word unfiltered when I've written out most of what I want to say, but I actually think that in writing this, I've been able to figure out what I actually want to say and what I'm actually struggling with. So why did I not share with him? Why am I not comfortable? I think it's because every reason I should be able to share things with him are the exact things that make me so unwilling to do so. Since I trust and value his opinion as a close friend, it would be far more discouraging if he found it weird or maybe thought that I was wasting time. And since I'm passionate about it, it would hurt a lot more if he didn't seem to care all that much. And if he didn't care, I certainly wouldn't want to bore him with all the details about it. Of course, I know that my big reveal isn't exactly showing my true self or even being that vulnerable. I doubt he would see me differently just because I have a fucking YouTube channel, but still. I don't exactly feel all that comfortable sharing things I talk about and plan to talk about on this channel, but it still felt impossible to tell him. I then thought back to this channel and why I was comfortable enough to share things here. Online, I'm anonymous, and none of this info is ever going to bite me in the ass. The only thing that could happen is someone leaves a mean comment that maybe stings a little. But what do they really know anyway, and who even are they? There's just nothing at stake. Sure, I certainly care about the well-being and success of this channel, but I didn't start making videos to be heard, but to be able to speak instead. There is certainly a relationship between me and you, but it isn't going to affect our day-to-day lives nearly like losing a good friend might. If you react negatively, you'll leave and forget about this in an hour, and I'll never even know. But with the close friend, it feels like a lot's at stake. To be honest, he does make up a large part of my social life. If I share something out of place or something that he even views as bad, I might make things awkward or even ruin a friendship. Even worse, since he's in my friend group, it could ruin that too. By sharing things about me, I also expose myself to a sense of uncertainty and his reaction. I don't know how he'll view me after this. No one does. The only thing I do know is that I'd like to keep meeting up with him every Friday and enjoying our conversations. Even though I don't think anything I could ever share about myself would alter our friendship, it doesn't make me feel any less apprehensive. That day when we were getting ready to leave, I was building up the courage to share my now 37 subscriber count. But then he actually shared something personal with me, and so I held my tongue. Actually, just writing this, I also got a call in a GC, and a good friend of mine recounted some deeply personal stuff as well. And one of the things that he said was how he, for a long time, thought it was embarrassing, but he thought it was good to actually share those things, and so that's why he called us. I also felt that same embarrassment. I know YouTube channel isn't exactly comparable in weight to what he shared, but what made me feel embarrassed sharing was the amount that I cared for making these videos. That's what makes being vulnerable so uncomfortable. It's not just the topic or what happened, but how much you're attached to it. Looking back, I think the reason he was embarrassed was because he was telling us that he was wrong. He often talked about how he didn't like being wronged, and in this moment, he was sharing his insecurities with us. Admitting fault is embarrassing to us, even though maybe it shouldn't be. That resonated with me deeply. I now realize that the reason I'm embarrassed about this channel is the same reason. It's where I admit my shortcomings, my flaws, admitting that I could have made better decisions in my past. I'm embarrassed because I'm showing people that I need to change. But on here, it's much easier to share because, one, my audience's opinions can never really reach me like a friend's, and second, it's also because I'm actively changing. Those two moments made me both proud of my friends, but also a little worried about myself. My friends seemed capable of pushing past their blocks and being vulnerable, and here I am, unable to tell a single person that I made a freaking YouTube channel. After seeing my friends being vulnerable, my reaction was a positive one. Even if I were to react negatively, for whatever reason, I try my best to support and build him, because he's my friend. I wouldn't just see them as flaws, but obstacles to overcome. That overcoming will have only made him stronger. That's what I was missing. When I share something embarrassing, I see them as flaws that will have consequences for my future, even if I fix them. Things I should have done differently, and I project that as my friend's own opinions without even waiting to listen to them. After thinking it over, I realized that I value my friends' opinions way more, and that's normal. But I'm also way overestimating the damage of their opinion, because I assume they'll see me the way I see myself. With all that being said, I think it's time to be more open and vulnerable with people. My close friends are probably more empathetic than I think, and less critical of myself like I am. And if they are critical, then maybe I really needed to hear that then. My first step, of course, is this channel. Not to spoil anything, but I think that every video will probably end with saying that this is my first step. But I digress. When I next see him, I hope I can tell him a bigger number, but that's not the point. And maybe it would be better if it was a small number. Unfortunately, writing this video out hasn't exactly made me feel any better. I still feel the same about telling my friend I have a YouTube channel. Apprehensive, worried, maybe even more so if I share more personal things in the future. But this video has helped me understand more, proved to me that I can still take small steps forward. Next Friday, I'll probably tell him. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any questions for me, or comments about the video, or maybe something personal that you want to share, by all means, leave it down in the comments below, and I'll try to read and respond to all of them. I'd also like to apologize for not uploading very recently. I've been pretty busy with stuff, but I hope to try to get on a schedule of uploading at least once a week. No promises though.